It's Breezy on Ice Podcast, and I'm back with another episode. And tonight, the Yankees, man, they lost 11-2, man. And I know it's still early, but damn, 11-2 to the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins is looking pretty decent this year. They're not playing bad baseball. Neither are the Yankees, But the best team in baseball right now is the Tampa Bay Rays. That's right, the Tampa Bay Rays is the best team in baseball. They are undefeated, 13-0. Lucky, unlucky number 13, right? As they would say. 13 games in, 13 games up, no losses, and they're looking pretty impressive, Still early. I believe San Diego is going to be the best team in that National League West Division. The Dodgers is also in that division. The Diamondbacks is playing pretty well. They actually do the division right now. So we'll see what happened with that as the baseball season progresses. And, my Mets, stay kind of rocky. I think they only a game above 500. In that division, the National League East, it always going to come down to the Atlanta Braves and the Mets. As long as the Mets is playing good, they'll be right there. We should have won the division last year, but that's another story. It's an old news now. It's a new year. It's a new season. It's a clean slate. And, so my Mets should hopefully win that division. Even though, I like that it always comes down to the wire between the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. It makes for great baseball, especially in that NL East. It makes for great storylines because it always comes down to the wire. And we always seem to play each other in the last 4-game series set of the year. And usually there's a lot of implications on those games. Usually the winner of those games out of the best of 4, whoever wins, the series usually go ahead and be the division leaders. Being a division leader is important in winning the division because it means you get that bye week, and then you also have everything run through you, as opposed to going on the road and trying to beat teams on the road or playing in that divisional round, that one game, and stuff like that. A lot of pressure to put on yourself to win, the best out of 5 games and stuff like that. So we don't want to be in that kind of dilemma this year. We actually want to win a division. We actually want to put that kind of pressure on the Atlanta Braves to play in divisional games and, have to basically, fight their way through, especially if they're going to go on another World Series run. But this is what I'm hoping for the city of New York sake, that we have a Subway Series World Series. I think that's been long overdue. It would be great for baseball to have that. We got to see how both teams play. The Yankees is always going to be in the mix. They always make the playoffs. They have 27 World Championships. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't really care for the pinstripes, but I got to give them credit, even though it pains me to give them credit because I'm a Mets fan. But it's New York nevertheless, and, we support New York teams over any other teams. That's how it goes. It's New York versus everybody when it comes down to it, even with, basketball too. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's interesting. The Brewers are playing well. Milwaukee's playing good baseball. The surprising team to me that's really playing well, I would have to say the Diamondbacks, because they weren't too great last year. So the Diamondbacks is kind of a surprise. I'm not surprised about Tampa. Tampa Bay is a good team. They don't seem to surprise me at all with the way that they're playing this year. But, yeah, Arizona and Minnesota are the two surprising teams that are playing, very well. 9-4 for Minnesota. And then we have Arizona, Diamondbacks at 8-5. So that's pretty good. The Brewers are 8-4. They're a good team. I know St. Louis is going to be become more competitive and trying to tighten up that race in the Central and the National League. Pittsburgh is playing good too, surprisingly, even though they're 2 games above 500. But the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing well. in my eyes, I know it's early. People like, yo, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's early in the season. We got 162 games to play, and that is true. We do have 162 games on the docket to play. It's only been the first 13 games of the season, something like that. So you have 100 plus more games to go, and usually the going doesn't really start mattering until you get into the season, the second half of the season, which is after the All-Star game. When you start closing in on like September, that's when the push. Well, I don't want to say a little bit before September. I want to say like August, September is that October push, and that's when positioning and seeding start to play a major factor in baseball around those months, because you don't want to be a team that's trying to crawl and fight your way in. You want to be a team that actually own your division, so this way you can get that division title, and yeah, that's what you want to do. The Dodgers, they're not great right now, but I do expect them to be better. Like I said, I think that National League West is going to be very competitive as long as the Arizona Diamondbacks continue to play well. San Diego, like I said, when they get their third guy back, when they get their third guy back, their third superstar, and I believe when they begin to mesh and gel and really start playing off of each other, they're going to be the scariest team in that West. They're going to challenge the Dodgers to win that division, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually excited about this with this Dodgers team, man. I mean, with this Dodgers team and this Padres team, I'm excited to see how this race is going to get down to the wire. And if the Arizona Diamondbacks continue to play well and make it interesting and keep it interesting throughout the course of the year, that's going to be very pivotal, and that's going to be very entertaining. I believe St. Louis will tighten it up in the Central. Like I said, the NL East, it always comes down to the Mets and the Braves. The Braves is 9-4. I'm not even shocked at them. The Braves is a very good team. I hate to say that, but Atlanta Braves is a very good team, and I can't discredit them. They're a very good team. Like I said, I love that battle that we have with them. It makes for great baseball, especially when the games matter, and we always seem to play them last, in the season series, in the season finales. And whoever usually win those games, those last 3 or 4 game sets that we have against each other, usually go ahead and lock up the division. So, as long as we keep it close and we don't drop unnecessary games, we can win the division this year. So that's the goal for the Mets, is to win a division this year. Have Atlanta go on tour and play in the divisional games and stuff like that. And we just kick back, relax, rest up, and play who we need to play. Once that divisional carousel is over, we play who we need to play, and we beat them and take care of business. And hopefully the Yankees can do the same thing, take care of their business in the American League. I mean, which is going to be tough because the American League East is going to be a 3-team race, I believe. And it's going to be between the Tampa Bay Rays, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the New York Yankees. It's going to shape up to be those 3 teams. Baltimore's not playing bad, but I feel like they're going to tail off as they always does. The Red Sox, it's just not good, man. Unless they can turn it around, but they're not a good team. They're not that Boston Red Sox team of the past. Them past Red Sox teams were always tough. They was always gritty. They were always there in the mix, and they always, gave the Yankees that challenge, or they either beat them, And right now, I think they're trying to find their identity again. They're going through a phase where, they're working their way to being the team that they used to be in the past. When you lose players like David Ortiz retired, of course, and Johnny Damon retire, and Manny Ramirez retire, and then you have Mookie Bates, and you let him leave to L.A. instead of just paying him the money and locking him in, and who knows what they still could have been if they would have just gave Mookie Bates his money. that he deserved. And Mookie Bates, in my opinion, the only player that earned every dime of his money and still earning every dime of his money. He doesn't cheat you. He plays well on both ends. And if he's not playing well on the offensive end, he's never going to cheat you on defense. He's one of those guys that will not cheat you or shortcut you. And I love that in the player, especially a baseball player, because a lot of these players in baseball, they play hard to get that big contract. And when they get that big contract, they sit back and relax, and they're always on the shelf. And so far, he's been productive throughout and still producing. So I want to just give him his shout out, give him his flowers, show him his love for being a constant professional. And when he's not on his A game, he still tries his best and work hard and never cheat his team. And his teammates and ownership understand that he's never going to cheat them. And that makes people feel good. That makes the fans feel good, when they're spending their hard-earned money. They scrape together to go to games and, support their team that they love and shit like that. So when you have a player that's on your organization that doesn't cheat you, that plays, and you pay to see them play, and he's out there on the field, even if he's a little nicked up and he can go, he goes. So you respect that as a fan. You respect that. That's for any player in any sport that never cheats an audience, because there's always people there that can't afford to be there, and they pay, the admission to see you play. And the great Kobe Bryant said that's why he always, suited up, because there's always going to be that one fan who pays, to see you play. And it might be the only time they could ever see you play in person, because they muster up that hard dollar. I believe it was Kobe Bryant who said that. And that's why he geared up and played. He played for those people who weren't as fortunate to always buy a ticket to come see him play live. So that's very important. And yeah, that's a lot of love and admiration to the person that's the consumer that's buying the product. But yeah, baseball is gonna be great, man. I want to see who's gonna give Tampa Bay their first loss, so that's gonna be interesting. But right now, they at the top of the league, man. They're the only undefeated team in the whole entire MLB. Like I said, hot start. 10-0 at home, 3-0 on the road. A lot of home games. So, they was able to get a nice little rhythm in front of their home crowd and get the home cooking going. So, 3 road games so far on the season, it's in their favor. When you have a home stand like that, it's in your favor, man. You can't help but, get the crowd into it. You got the fans, they're cheering you on, so you're going to play good baseball, of course. And that's what they have done. So, with that being said, I believe it's a fight this weekend. Michaela Myers is returning back to action Saturday night on Top Rank, ESPN. I want to see how she bounced back from her loss from Alicia Bumgarner. I thought we was going to get the run back between her and Alicia Bumgarner. Maybe somewhere down the line they run it back, hopefully. I do think that run back makes sense. I'm a Alicia Bumgarner fan. I think she's great. I think she's an excellent fighter. I think she looks good. Very attractive woman. Very beautiful, very talented, very skilled. But I think she should run it back. I want to see what's going to happen with Katie Taylor. And I think Shantae Cameron, if I'm saying her name right, they're gonna fight May 20th in Ireland. So I'm guessing the winner will fight Amanda Serrano. I want to see how Katie Taylor does in that fight. If Katie Taylor win, I'm hoping she does win, so I can see her and Amanda Serrano running back. And see Amanda Serrano beat her. We're also going to have Devin Haney that day with Lomachenko. That's going to be very skilled, very technical fight. Loma, I don't know if he's going to wake up for this fight, but I think he will. But I feel Devin Haney beats him, Devin Haney beats Lomachenko. And I think he's going to prove why Loma avoided him the first go around, why Loma didn't step in the ring with him. So that's going to be good. April 22nd, which is the following Saturday, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia is fighting. That may be a pay-per-view that I actually go on my wallet and pay for. I want to see this fight. It's highly anticipated. Tank says, and he keeps saying it's a 50-50 fight. I want to believe Tank and say that it's a 50-50 fight. But I don't know if I want to give my prediction right now. I think I'm going to wait till the fight week to put my prediction in, even though I think I already said who I feel like is going to win. But I don't think the fight is 50-50 at all. I believe it when I see it. When I see the fight, then I would say it's a 50-50 fight. But does Ryan has a puncher's chance? Of course, it's boxing. You know, anybody has a puncher's chance. If Ryan uses his length well and he uses his jab well and he can keep Tank at bay, then he should be able to win the fight. But I also think that Ryan has to be defensively responsible. That's the key to it all. He has to be defensively responsible. Can he be defensively responsible? And that's the thing. And if Tank drops him, can he get off the canvas and continue like he did with Luke Campbell? And if Gervonta Tank Davis is dropped by Ryan Garcia, that would be interesting to see too. Will Tank be able to get up and start Ryan? So it's a lot of question marks and it's a lot of unknowns with the fight. But that's why you fight. You know, the fight game is always interesting and interesting. And I want to see how Ryan Garcia is gonna respond when he's hurt, because I really believe that Ryan Garcia is gonna get hurt in this fight, and I want to see how he's able to react and how cool or calm he can be when his chin is tested by Gervonta Tank Davis' power, because Tank is gonna catch him with something. That's no doubt about it, because I feel like Ryan is not defensively responsible. He's not a Shakur Stevenson defensively, and he's not a Devin Haney defensively, even though Devin Haney gets touched too. But I do feel like those guys are a little bit more defensively responsible than Ryan Garcia, and especially Shakur Stevenson. You know, he can be in the phone booth fighting with you and make you miss. He showed that last Saturday in his previous fight that he can stand in front of you and make you look bad. So he has that kind of skill, and he got a little power there, you know, at 135. So it's interesting to see how this plays out. And I want to see if Devin gives Shakur his shot at the belts, you know, when he does beat Lomachenko, you know. So we got to see how that works, and if Loma should win, will Loma run it with Shakur Stevenson? I don't think Loma would get in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. That's my opinion. So I do believe Devin Haney will make the fight happen. I don't think he will run from Shakur Stevenson, not one bit. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the best and the best. And I think that's going to be the ultimate chess match between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. So, and one more thing before I go. The play-in tournament game is tomorrow. Minnesota get their second chance, and Miami get their second chance against the Chicago Bulls. Whoever win those games will be the 8th seed in their respective conferences. And once that's set, we have them games set, and we have the whole puzzle finished off. We got games Saturday. Opening series is Saturday. I think we got like 4 games Saturday. And I think we got like maybe 3 on Sunday. I want to say it's like 3 games Sunday or 2 games Sunday. I think it's either 4 or 5 games Saturday. So we're going to have a jam-packed Saturday. NBA playoff basketball is here, baby. We ready to rock and roll. See how this shit play out. Sixers all the way. I believe it's going to be Sixers and Celtics for the Eastern Conference. And for the West, I'm going to say... I gotta see how the Warriors look. I do think the Warriors beat the Sacramento Kings in the first round. That's gonna be an upset, and I do feel like Memphis is gonna get beat in the first round by the Lakers too. So those 2 upsets is gonna happen in the first round in the West. In the East upsets, I don't really consider the 4-5 matchup a upset really. It's just gonna come down to, can Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle and company outdo Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland and company. my answer to that question is a no, that the Knicks can't outduel them. And it's gonna be it's gonna be highly. I'm trying to word it right. It's gonna be based on how well Julius Randle plays in that series. I'm not worried about Jalen Brunson. Um, um, and I'm not worried about Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart is gonna play good. I'm not worried about Jalen Brunson. R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle is the two guys that I'm looking at in this series because they're gonna be the guys that be the X factor. And if Quickly can play well, he's gonna just be the cherry on top. But I do feel like Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, that backcourt is gonna be a little bit too much pressure, and that forwards, man, Jared Allen and Mobley and damn, it's another guy. Oh, Cassius LeVert. Cassius LeVert is gonna be the person that I got my eyes on in this series because if Cassius LeVert can have 2 to 3 big games coming off that bench as the sixth man for the Cavs, they will beat the Knicks in 5 or 6 games. And I'll lean more towards 5 games than 6. But if all compartments play well, I could see this being a 7-game series, and it's just gonna come down to what star can be bigger. Can Jalen Brunson outdo Donovan Mitchell? And I don't think he can outdo Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he has in the season, but I think Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs is like kind of a different animal. And again, it goes back to how well Julius Randle is going to perform. And I just don't trust Julius Randle at all. And R.J. Barrett is another guy that has to show me something in this series because if it's just Jalen Brunson and Quickly having good games and Josh Hart playing well, that's not going to be enough to beat the Cavs. If they're going to beat the Cavs, they need a collective group to be on point and on a square. But that's all I have for now, man. Peace and love. Like, comment, subscribe, please. Please subscribe. Like. Let me know what y'all want to hear. Let me know what I could do better. That's it, man. Peace and love as always. Breezy on ice.